Before she was a billionaire mogul, a global fashion icon, and one of the best-selling music artists of all time, she was just Robyn, a teenager from Barbados with a dream and a secret pain. This is the untold early story of Rihanna, the island girl who rewrote the rules of music, beauty, and fame. Robyn Rihanna Fenty was born on February 20, 1988, in St. Michael, Barbados, and raised in the small town of Bridgetown. Her life started far from the flashing lights. Her father, Ronald, was a warehouse supervisor, and her mother, Monica, a Guyanese-born accountant. Rihanna's childhood wasn't just modest, it was turbulent. Her father struggled with alcohol and crack cocaine addiction. She once told Rolling Stone that she used to try to block out her parents' fights by blasting reggae music in her room. By the time she was 14, her parents had divorced. She also battled intense migraines and health problems that doctors couldn't figure out. For years, she underwent CT scans and painful treatments, later revealed to be tied to stress and trauma. That pain, bottled up, would later pour into her music.
With the strength to carry on and cast a fear.
Music was her escape. At age 15, she formed a trio with two classmates. Think Destiny's Child, Island Edition. They auditioned for producer Evan Rogers, an American vacationing in Barbados with his wife. When Rihanna walked into the room, he later said, quote, "The minute Rihanna walked into the room, it was like the other two girls didn't exist." He invited her to New York to record demo tracks. Rihanna even stayed in Evan Rogers' home in Stamford, Connecticut during these early recordings. It was winter, and she'd never seen snow before. She was 16, alone in a foreign country, barely speaking above a whisper in the studio. But she was determined.
I can't tell you where I see myself in 5 years, but I can tell you that I will work my best to be the most successful artist that I can be in 5 years.
In 2005, her demo made it to Jay-Z, who had just become president of Def Jam Records. He agreed to let her audition. Rihanna, barely 17, walked into that Manhattan office and sang Pon de Replay, and one ballad that would never make her first album. Jay-Z was impressed. After that audition, Def Jam didn't let her leave the building until she signed a contract. Seriously, they were afraid another label would snatch her. She stayed until 3 a.m. with her lawyers on the phone. That night, Rihanna officially became a Def Jam artist. She moved to the U.S. for good. No family, no friends, just the dream. Her debut single, Pon de Replay, dropped in May 2005. It was a Caribbean club banger that took over the summer, climbing to number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100. Rihanna was suddenly the face of pop reggae fusion. But behind the scenes, she was already thinking bigger. By 2007, Rihanna was at a crossroads. Her label wanted to keep her in the safe, tropical pop lane. But she wanted edge, independence. She cut her hair into that now iconic asymmetrical bob, a visual signal to the world. The good girl was gone. Enter Umbrella. A track that was making the rounds in the industry. It was first offered to Britney Spears. Her team passed. Then it went to Mary J. Blige. She passed too. But when Rihanna heard it, she claimed it. Her version was more than a catchy hook. It was an anthem. And Jay-Z, who featured on the track, helped frame it as her true launch into pop royalty. Umbrella dropped in March 2007, and it exploded. The song spent 10 weeks at number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100. It wasn't just a hit, it was a shift. Umbrella didn't just open doors, it kicked them down, and suddenly made her a household name. But with fame came pressure. Endless media, tight schedules, grueling rehearsals. She barely slept. And then in 2009, the world stopped when news broke of her assault by then-boyfriend Chris Brown. The public fallout was huge, but what people often overlook is how she used that trauma to transform herself.
This happened to me, and it can happen to anybody. There are a lot of women who've experienced what I did, but not in the public. So it made it really difficult.
She took control of her image, her business, her voice.
You said that the attack got me a little closer.
Her 2009 album Rated R was darker, rawer, and deeply personal. Songs like Russian Roulette weren't designed for chart success. They were therapy set to music. After conquering music, Rihanna didn't slow down. She branched out, launching brands in cosmetics and fashion. In 2021, Forbes declared her a billionaire. But money was never the goal. Impact was.
One thing is clear, Rihanna loves her island of Barbados.
See, like, two of them, I grew up with them. Hello!
She invited me to check out her childhood home, where she lived until age 16.
This is gonna be fun.
This is how you know who somebody really is.
Tahima!
From a quiet girl in Barbados to an international force of nature, Rihanna's rise wasn't just about talent. It was about resilience, reinvention, refusal to be defined by anyone but herself. Thanks for watching. If you liked this story, hit that like button and subscribe for more Rise to Fame stories. And drop a comment. Who should we cover next?